Okay, we are live. Good morning, everybody. I'm trying to hit something on my laptop. Okay. It is 10:43 a.m. this Wednesday morning. Come on now. There we go. July 4th, 2018. Happy Independence Day to everybody. Or happy 4th of July. Or aka happy 4th to you. Happy birthday, America. 242 years old. As far as being free from Britain. Alrighty. Listen, we're not going to stay on here long. I do have a little devotion for you, and then we'll just move right along. Give you a few seconds to pop on here. Good morning, everybody. So I was actually looking at two different patriotic songs. My goodness, I don't know which. There was several of them I was looking at, and I was reading the history. That's why it took me so long to come on, because I was reading the history of all these patriotic songs, and that I wanted to cover. But I kind of come down to my final two, which, you know, I of course I love the national anthem. It's so hard to sing, but you know, I do like the national anthem. But my two favorites are actually America the Beautiful, and then God Bless America. And we're going to actually cover God Bless America. And I want to look at some scripture leading up to that song. And we're going to look at two verses. One's going to be in Psalms 33, and that's going to be verse 12. And it says, "Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, and the people whom he hath chosen for his own inheritance." Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. We go around many a times and we're singing and shouting, "God bless America, God bless America," which that's my prayer as well. You know, I would love for God to bless America. And let me give you a kicker. God would love to bless America. But folks, listen, you know, as much as I love our country and I love the land of the free, and I thank God for our freedoms, and I thank God for our servicemen and women who helped keep us free. But if we're expecting blessings from God, then we need to live a life, we need to lead a life that is blessable. You know, because listen, God's not going to bless us over our sin. And I know people say, "Oh, God blesses me every day." Well, listen, you know, every day that we live is a blessing from God. I agree with that. But the spiritual blessings that we want to receive from God is only going to come if we are living above sin. And the only way we can live above sin is through Jesus Christ, if we accept Christ and keep His commandments. But, of course, a lot of people don't want to hear that. But truth is truth. And I'm going to give you a remedy. And use this not only for our country, but use this in your personal life. If you feel like that you're not receiving blessings from God, or the spiritual blessings from God, let's stop and take inventory. God, you know, search my heart and seek, you know, search out any unrighteousness that's in me, you know, and forgive me and help me to, you know, live above the sin that the world has to offer. Folks, we can only do that through the help of Jesus Christ. But, you know, again, Psalms 33:12 says, "Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, and the people whom he hath chosen for his own inheritance." And we're finding ourselves in a society now that we're just more godless than ever before. And that brings me to 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14. I'm sure we all know this very well. "If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. Folks, listen, I thank God every day for my freedoms. I literally do. I thank God that, I'm living in a land that we have freedom of speech and press and to bear arms, even though people don't like that anymore. But I love my Second Amendment right, even though I don't own a gun one. I thank God for the freedom. If I want to own one, I can. I thank God for my liberties. I thank God for the freedoms that I have. If you look in Psalms 105, verse 5, it says, "Remember his marvelous works that he hath done, his wonders, and the judgment of his mouth." We need to stop and recognize the blessings that God's given us every day. Let's not take our freedoms, for granted. Let's not take our religious freedoms for granted, because there may be a time, where this country is turning against God, and this country is so godless that now not only does people not want to serve God, but people don't want other people to serve God. We're living in land that that used to be free, and we're losing our liberties every single day more and more. But one thing that I know that they can never take away from me. They may take away my freedoms. They may toss me in jail by my ears. They may take away my Bible, but they can never take Jesus Christ out of my heart. That's one thing that I know that people cannot do. Serving Jesus Christ is a personal relationship, and it's a personal choice. And I thank God that we're still living in a country where we're free to choose for now. But you know what? I'm glad that as of today, I can't speak about tomorrow, but as of today, we're still in a land of the free, and because of our servicemen and women and God's blessings. And we're looking at this song, it's God Bless America, written in 1918 by Irving Berlin. And then he revised that song back in 1939. And it was interesting because he had written this song right around World War I. And he said there was a time where everybody was writing patriotic songs, and he just felt like his wasn't up to par with theirs, and he put the song away. And then some 20 years later, almost, he pulled the song back out when they was facing the brink of Nazi Germany and World War II. And he wrote this song, or he had kind of just brushed up on the song that he had written back in 1918. And it was God Bless America. And it said that the song wasn't without controversy, that a lot of people attacked this song, and said, well, why should you just want God to bless America, not other countries? And of course it was beyond his point that he was trying to make. If you notice, when we read this song, it was a personal testimony for him. For you see, Irving Berlin was a Russian Jew, and he immigrated into this country in 1893, if I'm not mistaken, was the date. And he was using this song as a tribute to a country that he loved, that took him in, and and he gave him a wonderful life, he said. And this was his tribute to this. And it was God Bless America. And you guys know this song. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. And folks, that is my prayer today as we celebrate our independence. 242 years of freedom. Let's just not take our freedoms for granted. Let's thank God every day for the land of America that we live in, the freedoms that we enjoy. Thank a serviceman and woman for their service, and most importantly, look to God and thank God for His blessings. Because blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, and the people whom He hath chosen for His own inheritance. So listen, have a wonderful 4th of July. I'm here to work until 3 o'clock, and then we'll get to be with family celebrate this day with friends and family, as it should be. I will, before I hop off here, I will read something I thought was interesting. John Adams wrote this on July 3rd, 1776. And this was a letter that he wrote to his wife Abigail about the importance of Independence Day. And what I found interesting was, and I didn't know this, maybe I was sleeping, I think Jerry Bonzo is watching. You're my science teacher, so you shouldn't give me too much flack. But in my history class, I might have been sleeping because I don't remember this story. But John Adams, he actually looked at Independence Day being July 2nd, 1776. And the reason being is because that's when Congress got together and decided, that they was going to take their independence from Britain. But it wasn't until July 4th of 1776 when the documents was all drawn up and then they signed the Declaration of Independence. And in fact, it wasn't and not all of them signed that day. Some of them in Congress didn't sign until August of that year. And then they proclaimed it in 1777. But they proclaimed Independence Day, the day they actually signed the Declarations of Independence, on July 4th, 1776. But they decided on July 2nd that they would do that. And so John Adams wrote this to his wife on July 3rd saying, hey, our independence. And he went on and he was saying things like, let this be a celebration. He was teaching, or telling his wife, we need to remember this day and celebrate it. Families will celebrate it with parades and celebrate it with fireworks and games and different things. And little did he know, 242 years later, we're still celebrating, this Independence Day with parades and fireworks and family gatherings and games and all that stuff. And what it was interesting was that, 1883, John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, both former presidents, died on the same day, just 5 hours apart from each other. And they was two of the founding fathers. And then second president, James Monroe, he had also died on July 4th, a few years afterwards. But anyway, it's just history so interesting to me. But that was what John Adams had written to his wife, talking about Independence Day. He said, let us remember this. Let us celebrate it. Let us celebrate. He said, though we celebrate, he said, I'll never forget, those who keeps us free. And I'll say the same thing to you today. Let's not forget to thank God for our freedoms. Let's not forget to thank God for our liberties. And let's not forget those who laid down their life that we can have freedom and have days like this to celebrate. So anyway, God bless America is my prayer for each and every one of us, that we will live a life that's pleasing to God, that He will bless us. And again, 2 Chronicles 7:14, if my people, that's a condition. That's a condition that we have to meet. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves. See these conditions? We must humble ourselves. We must pray. We must seek His face. We must turn from our wicked ways. These are the things that we must do. If we do these things, then I will hear from heaven, will forgive their sins, and will heal their land. Folks, listen, if we want God to bless America again, we must live in a way that God will be able to bless us. Listen, have a wonderful holiday. Love you guys. Stay safe. Stay out of the heat. It's supposed to be like almost 100 degrees today. So just find you a shade tree to sip your lemonade under. Alrighty, listen, thanks for watching. Share this video. Lord willing, we'll be back tomorrow with another devotion. Love you, and happy birthday, America. God bless you.